Hey guys, so as a request from my girlfriend, I'm going to be reviewing Thor Ragnarok. This is the third Thor movie, and uh, and honestly, I would say this is the best, without a doubt. And I know a lot of people would agree with me on this, since the Thor movies have often been the weaker installments in the MCU, and they're not necessarily bad. I mean, they're good, but I mean, the Dark World had like a few problems. I mean, though I still enjoy watching it. Ragnarok is like the kind of push that Thor needed, and Taika Waititi knew. I mean, his direction in Ragnarok was almost perfect. Really, it's really good. And as for the style of Ragnarok, it's similar to. I mean, it's kind of like the Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and Guardians of the Galaxy, because there are some parts where it would become serious, and there are some parts where it would get more comedic, and that's what Thor needed. And it's really, really good. And so in this movie, Thor's sister Hela, the goddess of death, has returned to invade Asgard, and so Thor ends up on another planet called Sukar. I hope I said that right, and he's forced to compete into some intergalactic gladiatorial matches, and eventually he ends up fighting a big green monster who likes to smash stuff. You probably know who I'm talking about, of course, the Hulk. And when I first saw the trailer for Thor Ragnarok, I didn't expect to see Hulk, and I was really surprised. And this was also parts of this movie was a bit of adaptation for Planet Hulk. I haven't read the graphic novel Planet Hulk or seen the animated movie, but I heard it's like one of the best Thor reads. Though, I mean, this is not exactly, a complete Hulk movie. I mean, it's titled Thor, you know. So, the casting in this movie is really good. I mean, of course, you still have Chris Hemsworth playing Thor, and Tom Hiddleston, always amazing as Loki. And Kate Blanchett is really, really, really good as Hela, and a little bit scary at times, and she was a little overpowered. And I thought she was like the most overpowered villain in the MCU, but Thanos takes that spot, no exceptions. I mean, and I know a lot of people are like saying that Thanos is now the most overpowered villain in the MCU. There's like three villains that I think are the most overpowered. There's Hela. Well, my number one. Definitely number one overpowered villain in the MCU is Thanos. There's also Hela and Dormammu from Doctor Strange. So yeah, and you also get Mark Ruffalo, who still plays Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk. We get more good appearances from, and of course you always have the Stan Lee cameos, because this is a Marvel movie. I mean, you gotta have a Stan Lee cameo, and this was a little bit funny because he has all these whatever they were, and he cuts Thor's hair before his fight with the Hulk. So yeah, and Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie was really good as well, and Carl Urban is also pretty good as Scourge. Kate Blanchett and Carl Urban, seeing those two in this movie, this was obviously a Lord of the Rings reunion because if any of you all haven't seen the Lord of the Rings, both Kate Blanchett and Carl Urban appeared in the Lord of the Rings film franchise, and the trilogy. The Lord of the Rings trilogy. So, as a kid, I wasn't really like all into Lord of the Rings, but as I got older, my dad got me into Lord of the Rings, so yeah. Sorry if I'm off track. And Taika Waititi as Korg, he was also really good, and of course you have Anthony Hopkins who appears as Odin. He has like a limited amount of screen time in this movie, which was a little bit of a disappointment to me. He did like appear more in the first Thor and the Dark World, though. He does appear like less in Ragnarok. But still, I don't have many problems with Ragnarok because, like I said, this is easily the best Thor movie. And as for action sequences, they have like some of the best that I've seen in the MCU, particularly a few that I really love, of course, and I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in this, is Thor's fight with Hulk. And they play the Immigrant song in two action sequences. One in the beginning where Thor's fighting Surtur, and there's the second one near the end of the movie where Thor is fighting a bunch of zombie Asgardian warriors on the Bifrost Bridge in Asgard. So that was a really excellent choice for a song and an action sequence. It was really good, and I had a lot of fun watching those action sequences. I had fun with the movie, period. And this is really, without a doubt, one of the best movies in the MCU. I would put it up there with, there's like a lot. I can't really say which MCU movie is my favorites, though. There's not very much competition because, there is. So there's like a few that are my favorites. Ragnarok. Sorry. Thor Ragnarok is definitely one of my favorite movies in the MCU. There's also Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, Captain America Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming. There's too many. After like 19 movies, it never ends. So yeah, Ragnarok is really good, and I'm gonna give Thor Ragnarok an A+. So if you haven't seen this movie, what are you doing? It's on Netflix. It's out on Blu-ray. It's worth your time. Trust me, you will not regret it. And yeah. I was also going to mention that a while ago I recently watched the trailer for the new Halloween, and honestly, I'm really looking forward to it, and it's just a shame that I had to wait until October to see it. So around on Halloween, I'll be reviewing the original Halloween from 1978, and then once I see the new movie, I'll review the new one as well. So yeah, I just had to get that off my chest because I'm super excited about the new one. So yeah. So until next time, peace out.